Hello dear students, welcome back to my channel. In this video we'll see important 3-mark questions for social science examination. After this I'll be posting 4-mark questions also. After 3-mark and 4-mark questions I'll be posting important questions from Akashwani program, and also any additional questions if it is missed I'll be posting in a separate video. If you watch all these videos, definitely you can score good marks, and as expected maths exam was easy. Hopefully I'm expecting social exam will also be easy. Now we'll move to, and also do join my telegram group. Any important questions will be posted in my telegram group. Do join the telegram group. Now we'll move to first question. Very important question. This question has been repeated many a times. Make a list of all the effects of British education in India. The impact of British education in India. Because of introduction of Western education or the British education in India, Indians could develop modernity, secularism, democratic attitudes and rationality along with nationalistic ideas. So because of introduction of British education, Indians could develop what? Modernity, secularism, democratic attitudes, rationality along with what? Nationalistic ideas. And also the impetus received by local literature and languages facilitated unity in the thought process of the educated class. Because of the impetus received by the local literature and the languages, it facilitated unity in the thought process of the educated class. And also the emergence of periodicals which scrutinize the policies and working of the government enable the Indians to have critical opinion on various issues. Because the people are getting educated on Western education, the emergence of periodicals which scrutinize the policies and working of the government enabled the Indians to have critical opinion on various issues. New social and religious reform movements emerged. The thought process of J.S. Mill, Rousseau, Montesquieu brought fresh thinking in the educated youth of India. The freedom struggle that were taking place across the globe influenced the Indians as well. Indians could understand and appreciate their rich traditions. Students, any 6 point is enough to score 3 marks. And also, if you understand, you can write on your own in your examination. Already if you have studied any answer from the textbook or from your classwork, you can study that. Now moving to next question. What were the effects of British land taxes? What were the effects of British land taxes? The answer: the new class of zamindars who exploited the farmers was created. Because of the introduction of British land taxes, the zamindars, a new class of zamindars who exploited the farmers was created. They exploited farmers, gradually became, the exploited farmers became what? Landless. Because of the introduction of British land taxes, the exploited farmers became what? Landless. Land became a commodity. Loans could be raised by mortgaging the lands. So loan can be raised by what? By mortgaging the lands of the farmers. Many zamindars also had to mortgage their lands in order to pay tax to the British. The agriculture sector became commercialized, and the agriculture sector became commercialized and had to grow raw materials needed by industries back in England. The money lenders became stronger. Because of the introduction of British land taxes, the money lenders became very stronger. Farmers and agricultural laborers did not get regular work. Farmers were born in debt, lived in debt and died in debt. Taxes fixed were more than the expected production from the land. farmers had to pay taxes even during the times of drought and floods. So these are the effects of introduction of British land taxes. A new class of zamindars was created who exploited the farmers. The exploited farmers gradually became landless. Land became a commodity. Loans can be raised by mortgaging the lands. Many zamindars also had to mortgage their lands in order to pay the land tax to the British. Agriculture sector became commercialized, had to grow many raw materials needed by the industries in the England. The money lenders became stronger. Farmers and agricultural laborers did not get regular work. Farmers were born in debt, lived in debt, and also died in debt. Taxes were fixed, were more than the expected production from the land. Farmers had to pay taxes even during the times of drought and floods. Any 6 points is enough? Now moving to next question, very important question. It was discussed in Akashwani program also. What are the features of Government of India Act of 1919? What were the features of the Government of India Act of 1919? The act provided for a bicameral legislature with a lower house and an upper house. Diarchy was allowed in the regional governments. A High Commission for India was appointed. The provincial budget was separated from the central budget. Separate electoral colleges were extended for Muslims, Sikhs, Anglo-Indians and Europeans. It was promised to improve local self-government. These are the features of Government of India Act of 1919. According to this act, bicameral legislature with the lower house and upper house was created. Diarchy was allowed in the regional governments. A High Commissioner for India was appointed. The provincial budget was separated from the central budget. Separate electoral colleges were extended for Muslims, Sikhs, Anglo-Indians and Europeans. It was promised to improve local self-government. This point has been asked in what? The preparatory exam. The separate electoral colleges was formed based on which act? It was based on Government of India Act of 1919. Okay. Next question, explain the contribution of Putabasapa of Kodagu in the freedom struggle. This question has been asked many times in the board paper. The British dethroned Chikka Veera Rajendra of Haleri dynasty in 1834. This created instability in Kodagu. Swami Aparampara Kalyana Swami Putabasapa organized a rebellion against this. Swami Aparampara, who assumed the leadership of this rebellion, was captured in the year 1835, while Kalyana Swami was captured in 1837. But the people of Lower Kodagu continued to rebellion under the leadership of Putabasapa. Capture of the government office in Bellary was the first move in this rebellion. He killed an Amaldar, which helped to gain more support for the rebellion. The rebels marched towards the Mangalore and looted the treasury and prison at Bantwal. The British sought the army of Talacheri, Kannur and Bombay to quell the uprising. On learning about this, the development of Putabasapa and his associates fled to Sulia. They were captured and hanged to death. This was a contribution of Putabasapa of Kodagu to freedom struggle. See students, the British dethroned Chikka Veera Rajendra of Haleri dynasty in 1834. This created what? Instability in Kodagu. After that, Swami Aparampara, Kalyana Swami and Putabasapa organized a rebellion against this. Swami Aparampara, who assumed the leadership of the rebellion, was captured in 1835, while Kalyana Swami was captured in 1835. But the people of Lower Kodagu continued the rebellion under the leadership of Putabasapa. Capture of the government office in Bellary was the first move in this rebellion. He killed an Amaldar, which helped to gain more support for the rebellion. The rebels marched towards the Mangalore and looted the treasure and prison at Bantwal, the British sought the army of Talacheri, Kannur and Bombay to quell the uprising. On learning about this development, Putabasapa and his associates fled to Sulia. They were captured and hanged to death. This was the contribution of Putabasapa into freedom struggle. Moving to next question, discuss the Surapura rebellion in brief. The British government was observing the various development in Surapura. In 1857, it came to the notice of the government that the representatives of Nana Sahib were present in the Surapura. This made the British suspicious of the king Venkatappa Nayaka's intentions. The British appointed an officer named Campbell to report on the various activities of the king. The officer submitted a report that the king is involved in the anti-British activities. The British army captured Surapura in 1858. Because of this, the capture of Surapura, the people rebellion against the British. Moving to next question, the Treaty of Srirangapatna was inevitable for Tippu. Explain. The Treaty of Srirangapatna was signed in the year 1792 at the end of Third Anglo-Mysore War, was inevitable for Tippu. When was the Treaty of Srirangapatna signed? It was signed in the year 1792 at the end of Third Anglo-Mysore War, which was inevitable. That means it was unavoidable for Tippu. During the war, Tippu had lost heavily, and the combined forces of the British, the Marathas and the Nizam of Hyderabad were close to capturing Srirangapatna. Therefore, the Tippu had to accept the unfavorable terms in the treaty. Because of the combined forces of the British, Marathas and Nizam, they were very close to capturing Srirangapatna. The Tippu had to accept unfavorable terms in the Srirangapatna treaty. He had to part with half of its kingdom and pay 3 crore rupees as compensation for the losses incurred by the British during the war. He also had to pledge 2 of his sons as guarantee against the payment. The British were thus successful in inserting unfavorable conditions in the treaty in order to weaken the Tippu Sultan. So by this, all this situation made what? The Srirangapatna Treaty was inevitable for Tippu. So next, very important question. Definitely one question will be asked from the 3 marks. One question will be asked from the unit. Religious reformation movements. What were the aims of Arya Samaj? The aims of Arya Samaj are all Hindus should believe in one formless God. No one is Brahmin or Shudra by birth. The Arya Samaj rejected the caste-based system. It encouragement of inter-caste marriages, rejection of polygamy and child marriage. Men and women are equal. One should study the Vedas and other ancient texts and preach them. These are the main aims of Arya Samaj. Next, what are the preachings of Brahmo Samaj? The preachings of Brahmo Samaj are: it advocated monotheism, it opposed meaningless rituals, it preached that every person should live with dignity and no law or ritual should violate this. The Brahmo Samaj tried to ensure equality to women by opposing polygamy. Polygamy means marrying more than once. It advocated for a fair share in the property to ensure dignity of life to widows. It also opposed what? Child marriage. And also, students, the contribution of Annie Besant is also an important question. It was discussed in Akashvani program. Now we'll explain how Swami Vivekananda was a source of inspirations to the youngster. Swami Vivekananda believed that people should be educated first, and they themselves would seek reformation. According to Swami Vivekananda, the people should be what? Educated first, then themselves they'll seek what? Reformations. He wanted legal institutions to frame appropriate rules to support reformation. He also wanted people to stop following Western ideals blindly. He believed that it is a duty of the religion to provide light, otherwise it was of no use. He opposed caste system, untouchability, and idea of supremacy based on caste. His speeches mirror his nationalistic ideas. He was a role model to the youth through his ideas, reformation ideas, and his life and work, what he did. It inspired many of the youths of India. Very important questions. Next chapter from the unit. The first war of Indian independence. List out the reasons that led to the failure of 1857 mutiny. The revolt. The reasons are: the revolt did not spread to the whole country. It concentrated mainly on issues of rights of kings, queens, rather than the liberation of the country. Next, it was not a planned or organized struggle. The unity among the British soldiers and disunity among the Indian soldiers resulted in the failure of the mutiny or the revolt. The mutiny lacked direction and leadership. It lacked what? Direction and leadership. The soldiers lacked discipline, organizing skills, military strategy, planning capabilities, and soldiering skill. Many Indian rulers remained loyal to British and did not support the revolt. Plundering and other crimes committed by the soldiers made the common people lose their faith in the soldiers. These are the reasons that led to what? The failure of 1857 mutiny. This question can be asked for 3 marks or for 4 marks also. Now moving to next question. What are the effects of 1857 revolt? Students, out of these two reasons for failure or the effects of 1857 revolt, out of these two you can expect one question from this chapter. The effects of 1857 revolt are: the effects of 1857 revolt are: the war put an end to the governance of East India Company. It ended the governance of East India Company. The administration was taken over by the British government. The responsibility of administering India was handed over to the Secretary of Indian Affairs of the British Parliament. In 1858, the Queen of England made a declaration and promised a stable government for Indians. These are the effects of 1857 revolt. Next, we'll see what the Queen's declaration of 1858. After 1857 war, the effects of the war was the Queen declared. The main aspects of Queen's declaration of 1858 were: the agreements entered into by the East India Company with the local kings were accepted, non-pursuance of regional expansion, providing a stable government for India, equality before the law, non-interference of the government in religious issues of Indians, and practicing religious tolerance. These are the Queen's Declaration of 1858. Next, list of the programs of non-cooperation movement. The programs of non-cooperation movement are: boycotting schools, colleges, courts, boycotting elections to regional legislative bodies, returning of all the honors and medals given by the British, resignation of all the members nominated by the local bodies, boycotting all the government functions, boycotting of foreign goods. These are the programs of non-cooperation movement. Students, you can make a note of these points if you can. Otherwise, if you listen, that's enough, and you can read from the textbook or from your school notes. Next, very important next question. What are the reasons for unemployment? How communalism fatal to national unity? Unemployment has become a huge problem in India because of overpopulation, increased use of technology, shortage of natural resources, over dependence on agriculture, decline of cottage industry, and lack of skill-based education. These are the reasons for the unemployment in India. How is communalism fatal to national unity because communalism creates political competition, social groupism, economic hatredness. It puts self-interest above the national interest. The communal forces attempt to preach their religion and also tend to be suspicious of the other religions. This endangers the unity and integrity of our country, so it not only disturbs the peace in the society but also leads to loss of life, property, mutual accusations, physical assaults, and other undesirable effects. This endangers the unity and integrity of the country. Hence, we can say that communalism fatal to national unity. Next, moving to next question. India's relationship with Russia or India's relationship with China are important question as discussed in what Akashwani program. The relationship between India and Pakistan, I leave it to you can study from the textbook. Now I'll discuss India's relationship with Russia, and India's relation with China will be discussed in other videos. India's relationship with Russia. India's cordial relations with Russia though India followed the policy of non-alignment. The India has good relation with Russia in the political, economic, and other fields. The USSR condemned the China's invasion of India in 1962. The USSR supported India at the UNO during the liberation of Goa in 1961. In 1966, the Tashkent Agreement was signed by India and Pakistan with the mediation of Russia. In 1971, India and Russia entered into a 20-year Treaty of Peace agreement, friendship and cooperation. In addition, the USSR has assisted India to set up steel plants at Bhilai and Bokoro. India has also received aid from Russia for the growth of her industries and technology. Russia has extended its support to India's quest for permanent seat in the Security Council of the UNO. This is how we have a cordial relation with Russia, and also you can list it down what are the help done by Russia to India. Around 6 points enough to score 3 marks, but at least you need to write 1 or 2 points extra to get, in case of any mistakes, you'll get 3 out of 3 marks. Next question, relationship between India and Pakistan. We don't have any cordial relationship with Pakistan. This you can read from the textbook. Next important question. Next question, how untouchability is social level discuss evil. Stratification in Indian society can be seen in the caste system, or the division in Indian society can be seen based on caste system. The caste system considers some caste as high and others as low. People belonging to certain low caste are considered as untouchables because they were discriminated against in food, employment, and education. Also, they were not allowed to use the water from the public wells and the tanks, nor allowed to use the water from the cemetery used by the upper caste. They were not allowed to use the cemetery used by the upper caste. They were deprived of social, cultural, religious, educational, and political facilities and opportunities. The practice of untouchability violates the principles of equality and humanity. Therefore, we can say that it is a social evil. The most repeated question in the examination: what are the legal measures undertaken to eradicate untouchability? Explain. The legal measures to eradicate untouchability are: the Untouchability Offences Act of 1955 declares the practice of untouchability a punishable offence. The Untouchability Offences Act of 1955, which amended in 1976 and renamed as what? The Protection of Civil Rights Act, not only declares the practice of untouchability a punishable offence, but also prescribes more stringent punishment for practice of untouchability. The Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes Act of 1989 confers special responsibilities on the state government with regard to eradication of untouchability. These are the legal measures in the society to eradicate untouchability. Next, difference between organized and unorganized workers. Organized workers, they work in specific fields which are governed by rules and regulation, whereas in unorganized sector, they work in areas which are not governed by rules and regulation. And also in the examination, you can expect question like what are the features of organized workers, give example, or features of unorganized workers, give example. They get facilities like fixed wages, pension, PF, that is provident fund, gratuity, etc. They earn daily wages. They have specific hours of work, whereas the unorganized sector, they don't have any facilities of specific times of hours, working hours. They work without any additional facilities and have no job security or fixed wages. The organized sector is not very large. The unorganized sector is vast. These are the differences between organized sector and unorganized sector. Next, the important question: what is the importance of communication? Students, after this video, that is 3 marks and 4 marks video, I'll be posting additional important questions from the Akashwani and also any missing question in a separate video. Do watch out all the videos to get above 70. But you need to read, and the presentation is very important in the examination. You should write the answer in a point-wise manner. Now next question: communication helps in quick transmission and dissemination of ideas, information and messages from one person to another, from one place to another. Communication helps in creating awareness among the people about government policies and development programs. It enables us to know about natural hazards and disaster, weather forecast, etc. It helps in the progress of trade, industry and agriculture. It provides entertainment. We get day-to-day information about the world. It helps to maintain the unity and integrity of the countries also. These are the importance of communication. And also we'll see importance of road transport in India. India is a land of villages and predominantly a agricultural country. For the development of agriculture and village industries, roads and are essential because they are convenient to connect isolated villages. So without roads, it is very difficult to connect the villages. Roads can be connected in forest and hilly regions. They connect remote places with the towns, cities and provide door-to-door service. They are feeders to railways, seaports and airports. They play a very important role in tourism, trade and commerce and industries. They create employment opportunities and useful in defense, especially in border areas. These are the importance of road transport. From the unit communication, transport and communication, you can expect 3 mark 1 question. And also you can check the definition of remote sensing, GIS, GPS. Very important question. List the factors which influence the localization of industries. When I was studying 10th standard, this question has come many times. I have seen every year this question as repeating in the examination. I am expecting this question repeating again. In case if it is not repeated from the unit industries, again a 3 mark question will be asked. The factors influencing the location of an industry are availability of raw materials, power supply, transport and communication, market facilities, capital, labor, water supply, ideal climate and government policies. These are the factors which influence the localization of industries. Very important 3 mark question. Otherwise you can get a question from the unit industries like explain how industries help in economic development of country. Industries are vital for the economic progress of a country. Again, the development of industries reduces the reliable on primary products, imported goods, helps to increase national and per capita income and earn foreign exchange. They also create job opportunities and raise GDP of the country and also standard of living of the people. Industries help to reduce the pressure on agriculture. This is how industries help in economic development of a country. Next, another 3-mark question will be asked from the unit. Natural disasters. What are the effects of floods? Floods causes loss of life, property. They cause damage to crops, vegetation, etc. They result in breakdown of communication and power system. They dislocate the transport system. They cause soil erosion, disruption of essential service. These are the effects of flood. So they can also ask 1-mark question like what are floods, what are cyclones, what is an earthquake. Next, we have next question, what are cyclones? Mention the major effects of cyclones. A cyclone is a storm caused by winds blowing around a central area of lower atmospheric pressure. The major effects of cyclones are very destructive and cause large scale destruction of life and property. They damage building, transport and communication system, disrupt the power supply, destroy crops and vegetation. These are the important effects of cyclones. The effects of landslides are blocking of roads, railway lines, burying of human settlements and vegetation, etc. Loss of life and property also. See, students, you can see many of the points are repeated. What are the effects of earthquake? The cracking of ground surface, damage or destruction of buildings, rails, roadways, power lines, telecom lines, bridges, dams, factories. Loss of human and animal lives and property. Fires, landslide, disturbance in groundwater level, blockage and diversion of river course, destruction of forest due to fire are the other effects of earthquake. Now we'll see what are the precautionary measures to be taken to reduce the effects of earthquakes. Earthquakes neither predictable nor preventable. We can, however, reduce the damage that they can cause. Some of the precautionary measures can be taken to reduce the effects of earthquake are: avoid human settlements in earthquake prone zones, follow earthquake resistant designs for the construction of buildings, use of building materials of good quality and avoid high rise buildings, restrict digging of deep wells for groundwater, restrict growth in hilly areas with high seismic vulnerability, avoid construction of large dams and reservoirs, stop deforestation and heavy quarrying activities. Next, what are the effects of coastal erosion? The effects of coastal erosion are coastal areas including vegetation and houses may be washed away, roads, railway lines, bridges, etc. along with coast may be damaged. Coastal areas may remain flooded over a long period of time, requiring resettlement of people. How do we calculate per capita income? Per capita income is what? Average income of each individual in a country. It is average income of an individual in a country. Per capita income is calculated by dividing the national income by total population in a given year. Per capita income equals the national income divided by the total population. What is HDI? How it is calculated? Human Development Index is the criteria formulated by the United Nations Development Program, that is UNDP, to measure the quality of human life. The Human Development Index is the average of 3 indicators: life expectancy, educational achievements and standard of living. This is how the HDI is calculated: life expectancy, educational achievement and standard of living. Moving to next question, women self-help groups are very supportive to women empowerment because justify. In order to provide participation of women in economic activities, self-help groups have been formed in all the villages. They have been playing a significant role in organizing poor rural women and making them financially dependent. The women self-help groups are making the women financially independent. Members of these groups can avail loans easily and engage in productive activities. these self-help groups, women have been able to oppose social evils like child marriage, dowry, caste system, superstition, exploitation of women and children. The self-help groups have been successful in mobilizing savings and also in repayment of loans. They have been able to contribute towards the building a progressive society. This is how women's self-help groups are supportive to women empowerment. One mark definition can be asked like, what is women empowerment? What do you mean by underdevelopment? What are its causes? The term underdevelopment denotes a backward and stagnant situation. It is a backward and stagnant situation where levels of living of people are low. The level of standard of living is low due to per capita income and low productivity apart from high population growth. So the underdevelopment denotes a backward situation and also where the standard of living of people is low and also low productivity apart from high population. The causes of underdevelopment are low per capita income, low productivity and also high population growth. These are the causes for underdevelopment. Next, what examine the causes for low HDI of India. Students, you can go through this answer from the textbook to understand it. Next, very important 3-mark question, role of Panchayat Raj institution or features of Panchayat Raj institution or Gandhiji's concept of Grama Swarajya. These are the out of 3 you can expect one question for your exam from the unit rural development. Panchayat Raj institution play key role in rural development. Panchayat Raj institutions enable the rural people to participate in rural development. They provide the rural community with basic facilities such as roads, drains, drinking water, street lights, hospital buildings, market yards, etc. The public distribution system in villages has been strengthened and poor people are provided with food grains. They provide rural community with basic facilities such as roads, drains, drinking water, street lights, hospital buildings, markets, etc. The public distribution system in villages has been strengthened and poor people are provided with food grains. Panchayats can ensure that benefits of various social welfare programs reach the people promptly. Panchayat Raj systems can bring all the self-help groups together and encourage productive activities. Panchayats can encourage social and cultural activities through celebration of village fairs and festivals. These are the role of Panchayat Raj institution in rural development. Any 6 point is enough. Now moving to next question, 36 question, very important question, key features of Panchayat Raj system in India. The important features of Panchayat Raj system are a 3-tier structure of district, that is Zilla Panchayat, Taluk, that is Taluk Panchayat, and village Gram Panchayats with a Gram Sabha as a foundation. Panchayat Raj system is a 3-tier system, that is Zilla Panchayat, Taluk Panchayat and Gram Panchayat. You can do a small figure also in the examination with triangle like Zilla Panchayat, Taluk Panchayat and Gram Panchayat. Direct and periodical elections will be conducted. Reservation of seats for SC, STs, backward classes and women. Provisions regarding financial and administrative responsibilities, budget and audit requirements. Provision for executive support staff and a strict procedure for dissolution, suppression of panchayats. Mandatory elections within 6 months of dissolution. These are the key features of Panchayat Raj system in India. Gandhiji's concept of Grama Swarajya in the light of decentralization. According to Gandhiji, administrative power and the responsibility of developing the villages should be decentralized. That means it should be given to the local people of the village, given it to its own people. This is called as decentralization. Through decentralization, sharing of power occurs and people participate in decision making. Decentralization aims at planning development from below, which Gandhiji referred as Grama Swarajya. What are the characteristics of a bank? Bank is a financial institution dealing with the money of the public. A bank may be a person, firm, or company. Bank advance loans to various sectors of the economy. Bank facilitate the customers to withdraw their deposit in the form of checks or drafts. A bank is a profit-seeking institution with service-oriented approach. Banks continuously expand and diversify their functions, services, and activities. Banks act as a link between the depositor and the borrowers. These are the either characteristics of bank or functions of bank, advantage of opening a bank, service offered by the bank. The first two questions are very important. Later you can read other two questions. What are the functions of bank? Accept deposit from the public and lend loan to others, lending money to the public as loans, transferring money from one place to another, collecting money, check, drafts and bills, discounting bills, having safe deposit lockers, conduct foreign exchange transaction, keeping valuables in the safe custody, issuing letters of credit and guarantee, conducting state and central government transactions. What are the advantages of opening a bank account? You can write on your own also. It helps in making payments, and also it helps the safe custody of money. It helps in collection of money. Bank account holders get advances and loans. Bank account helps in smooth financial transactions. Bank account holders get safe deposit locker facilities. What are the services offered by banks? Credit cards, debit card, personal and business loans, home vehicle loans, mutual funds, safe deposit locker, trust services, signature guarantees, and e-banking. These are the services offered by bank. Next important question, characteristics of entrepreneurship or the importance of entrepreneurship, functions of entrepreneur. A 3-mark question. The characteristics of entrepreneur are creativity, dynamism, team building, problem solving, risk taking, commitment, innovation, leadership, achievement motivation, goal orientation, self confidence, and decision making. What are the importance of an entrepreneur? The importance of an entrepreneur are entrepreneurs activate and stimulate all the activities for the economic progress of a nation. They promote capital formation by mobilizing the ideal savings of the citizen. They encourage effective mobilization of the skills, bring in new products and services, develop the market for those products. They promote development of industries. Such type of entrepreneurial activities create value addition and wealth, which is essential for the industrial and economic development of a country. It is entrepreneurial creativity and innovation that triggers production and sale of new products and services. Next, functions of entrepreneur. He starts business activity by preparing various plans and relating to business. He organizes factors of production. He takes decision about product, technology, marketing, and unemployment. He coordinates things effectively. He handles the budget of his concern. He bears risk and uncertainty. He gives direction to the business firm, ensures effective operation. He puts new methods into practice. Students, these are the important questions for 3 marks, and also any additional question from the Akashvani will be uploaded soon, and also additional important question will be posted in my Telegram group. Do join the Telegram group. Do watch the complete video series on social to score good marks. Thank you for watching the video, and also do subscribe the channel.